Nerdiest Prime.
Hi, welcome to Nerdiest Prime, where we are reviewing every episode of Star Trek Lower Decks, and we are on episode 7, A Few Badgies More. And, oh guys, I think there's something weird with my internet. Everybody's kind of frozen. Hold on, let me just switch positions. And,
I
let
was
me
just
switch
sitting
positions.
still.
Okay. Oh, this is better.
Well,
I think that's much better.
hey, how's it going?
How are you going?
What the hell are you doing? What's
Crossover.
going on?
Crossover, Nerdiest Prime.
What's going on?
Oh, hey, and for those of you watching, like, subscribe, and share.
Subscribe, mother.
In a galaxy where anything can happen, one crew always rises to the challenge. Then there's the USS Cerritos.
I love this episode. It was fantastic. It had everything. It had danger. It had AI guys. It had Badgie. It had answers. Ooh, or at least a bit of more answers. It had binars, for God's sake. It was great. I loved it.
Namir.
Me?
Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with Jenny. I loved it. I thought it was. I think this episode is my favorite episode this season by far.
Mhm.
For those reasons, I love Badgie. Badgie is my favorite character, and he's back. I know it seems a little psychotic that he's my favorite character, but he's hilarious. And it was super fun to watch. Lots of stuff happened. We got some answers about the season long storyline, so I was super happy with it.
Alan.
Yeah, this one was. I laughed a lot at this one too. I thought it was very funny. Again, last week's I still think is the funniest one this season, but this one was like, yeah, a close second for funniest. Because I always love the evil AIs and they're trying to scheme, and yeah, that was all. Jeffrey Combs is such a treasure. It's like, please put him in everything.
They try.
They try. Yeah, he's a man of many faces. Yeah, there was a good story. We had some movement on the arc, the binaries. Yeah, that was a great opening. Yeah, I was really, really happy with everything that happened in this one.
Well, Namir and I watched the episode together, and I was like, the only thing that could make this episode worse is if
Alan was here.
in it. Because Badgie, it's just that Badgie makes me so uncomfortable. He's
That's
so
funny.
It's not that I don't like the episode. It's just like Badgie's so uncomfortable. And I'm like, the only thing that can make this worse is if Peanut Hamper was in this, because she's super uncomfortable. And then she showed up. I'm like, oh my god, this is so uncomfortable.
Nightmare.
I was so uncomfortable the whole episode.
That's amazing.
But I was very excited about the binars too, and how they talked.
I wish they had subtitles. I really want to know what they were saying.
I
You wouldn't be able to read it fast enough.
I kind of liked that they didn't. Like I liked that they were doing the clearly they were the lower deckers, but it was like we almost didn't even need to know because we've seen that conversation happen so many times, and it's basically just lower deckers just being lower deckers. So I don't know. Yeah, I get it. I definitely get it, and I want to know what they said, but I feel like we didn't need to.
No, yeah, for sure.
It's like the whales in the whale probe in Star Trek 4. You didn't need subtitles.
Exactly.
Yeah, but didn't you want subtitles? Didn't you want to know what they were asking for?
What are you, a studio executive?
Well, what if they were just asking for some fish? And they went all the way back in time because they thought they needed whales.
I think
Yeah,
they
but
were
they were
looking
talking
for
to each
a
other.
book
They
like
had nothing
what
to
to
do with
expect when you're expecting and you're a whale. Because she was pregnant.
Oh yeah.
Wait.
They were talking to Spock.
Right.
That's the whole thing. They talked to Spock, and Spock said she was
Yeah,
pregnant.
you're right.
Yes.
Do you remember the movie? Did you guys watch the movie?
Yes, I
The
just
one
thought
with the
I thought you were
whales,
talking
right?
about what the probe wanted, not what
It's
the
the one with the
whales
Vulcan.
wanted.
Oh, I thought about what the whales were saying when they go. "Roar."
Yeah.
Yeah, what the whales were saying. Yes.
No, what
Oh,
the
yeah.
probe was saying.
The
She
probe
was
was
just
saying to
concerned
the
about her
whales.
pregnancy.
That's right,
That's what I'm
I
saying.
feel like we're
That's
having
what
two
they're talking
different
about. The
conversations
baby.
here.
Okay, so what did we think about the plot of this episode? Let's start with Jenny again.
A plot is they're going to check out what happened to the Binars. Is that right? Because they were closest to Binar. But in the meantime, then Badgie gets salvaged, and then and were they like there? I don't know. I'm a little confused about that. But anyway, yeah. So then they run into Badgie, and then Badgie's like trying to take over the universe because that's what Badgie does. But at the same time, then Tendi and I was gonna say Bender. That's not. That's a different show.
He
I get
also
that
hated
reference. I'm
humans.
just saying, Alan. I get that reference.
Okay.
Tendi and Boimler have to go to Daystrom because their evil AI friends are, Peanut Hamper's up for parole, and Agamus is claiming that he knows stuff about the Binar thing. So off our heroes go, and awesome things ensue. And I thought the plot was great. It made sense. It didn't do anything stupid. It was great. Like, it just, and it sort of brought everybody, great. Okay, good. Yes.
No, I enjoyed the plot. I usually get a little tired of the AI plots in these shows. I feel like they lean on that a lot, kind of like like the Borg back in Voyager days. But this one was fun because it was basically a bunch of AIs who couldn't get their shit together. They're all scheming and thinking they're going to take over the universe, and none of them are really successful. I guess Badgie was the closest to being successful, but he had a character journey through this. But I thought it was interesting too that Boimler was actually portrayed as being a smart and savvy through this. Like he wasn't taken for a fool or clumsy or anything like that. That he usually he contributes to his own comeuppance in most of his endeavors. But in this one he was totally onto Enigmas and just the fact that we had this AI who thinks he's like so smart, and then he just completely shits the bed trying to. he takes over a planet, but is like we're gonna flip this around like an hour. We're just waiting for you to spill the beans, and they're always like he thought he was being clever and he wasn't, and it was just funny to see it kind of turn around that he was being tricked, even though he thought he was doing so good.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah, it was nice to see Boimler kind of not played for the fool for once. So.
You concur, Doctor?
I do concur. I thought this episode was like the plot was great. It did the thing that I like in my Lower Decks episode, which is that sort of that sprinkling of metaphysics. That when Badgie kind of becomes a god.
That was so great.
That was amazing. And you see like a giant Badgie coming out of this black hole in the middle of the universe. It's so good. Lower Decks does it so well. And then we saw the koala again at the end. That was a clincher for me. I saw that and I was like, this is my favorite episode this season.
Yeah.
So smart.
Yeah, I mean, aside from the fact that I find those characters really uncomfortable to watch. I think it was a great plot. It was like the Binar starting off. It was fun because up until now we'd had a lot of the sort of the usual suspects, like the Klingons and the Romulans and the Ferengi and all this. And this time we had the Binars. We hadn't seen them like since the season 1 of TNG. And then you have this great mystery where it's working on different levels. Badgie's trying to destroy the Cerritos, and it didn't. Yeah, you're right. Like Jenny, it didn't feel like it had an A/B plot. It was more like two parallel plots going on at the same time. They're all kind of tied together. So I think it was one of the things I was complaining about in the earlier episodes is like, oh, things are funny, so we're not taking the plot as seriously. And this one, I felt like they were really doing a solid like science fiction fun plot. I thought it was interesting that the title of this episode was a It was A Few Badgies More. It was alluding to A Few Dollars More, which is a sequel to A Fistful of Dollars, which is the inspiration for A Fistful of Datas.
It's coming.
I followed that. I need a diagram. But was there a Lower Decks episode which was like a fistful of badgies or something? Did I just make that up?
No, I
No,
don't
but
think so.
this was, in a way, it was like a sequel to A Fistful of Datas.
Because
Because of the titles.
I think that's a stretch. It feels like a stretch.
That's a stretch. Yeah.
I'm following your logic, and there's gaps. There's gaps now.
There's gaps. I fell in one.
I mean, to be fair, A Fistful of Datas, yes, is like the Western episode, but it's also the episode where like Data's brain gets mixed with the computer, so it is like a computer episode also.
See? Thank you, Jenny.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it is quite the.
Well, I'm just saying. Well, they named they named this episode
Thematically similar.
But they named this episode knowing of the other episode. They must have known, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're making the connection through the whole title thing.
I don't know, they make the connection that there's a few badgies more. There's a Goodgy and there's a Logicy and yeah.
That's not a coincidence. That's how they wrote the script.
Well, I'm just saying, I don't think they named it based on the fact that they referenced it. They did a play on words of a Clint Eastwood movie before. They probably did it because there's actually a few badgies more in this episode.
Are you petting my?
I'm petting your cat.
Are you petting the air between you and?
No, I'm petting the cat. There's a cat right there.
Yeah.
Hey, your cat kind of looks like my new cat.
Yeah.
The cat. Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah. Nice. My face is on top
Out
of
of
it.
focus.
They're both probably lazy good for nothings.
Well, she's a kitten, so she's good for nothing, but not lazy.
Sam's over there. He's been sleeping for like 12 hours.
Contribute to the household.
I just don't understand how there's three Chuckies here with 3 cats, and none of them are named Spot. Unless your name is the name of your cat, Jenny, is Spot, is it?
No. My cat's named Sam because he and his brother were Sam and Dean.
Oh, I see.
Because I got them back in 2007, and they're brothers.
Lucas probably has no idea who Sam and Dean are.
Hold on, is it a Quantum Leap?
Bless your heart.
His name is Sam Beckett?
Yeah.
Stockwell played Al. I see the connection.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think that's what it is.
Who's Sam and Dean? Okay, is it Supernatural?
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
You just Googled it again. There was a 30-second
I had a
gap.
14-year-old daughter once upon a time with like Supernatural.
Yeah.
So.
And it was like
I saw the Back to the Future episode. That was really good.
You know who I thought Sam and Dean was? I thought you were talking about the Rat Pack, like Sammy Davis Jr. and Dean Martin.
I once had a cat.
How old are you?
99.
Rat Pack.
That was the golden age of television, my friend.
We all know.
I wouldn't even
I had a cat and my cat's name was Neelix.
Oh, that's good.
Who gets that reference?
Neelix?
No.
No. Okay, what's the reference? What's the reference, guys?
Neelix? The cat named Neelix?
Yes. Who else has a cat named Neelix?
Oh, crap.
Barkley.
I know this.
Well,
right.
Barkley.
Nice. Good job.
Thank you.
Barkley has a cat named Neelix?
Yeah.
He's obsessed with Voyager.
Yeah.
But you're not there yet.
I'm not there yet. I'm still halfway
He's not
through.
there yet.
DS9.
We just watched.
Spoiling him.
What do we do next? Let's talk about our favorite moments.
Ooh.
This is what I'm doing every time, just improvising.
Yeah, now I know. It's really disheartening.
Okay, Alan, let's talk about what's your favorite moment in this episode?
The shields are failing. We can't take much more booping. A boop on your nose, a boop on your nose.
I don't remember that. What part was it?
That's when Badge firing phasers at the Cerritos. He's like, boop you
Every
on the
time
nose,
he's shooting at
boop
the
you on the
Cerritos, he's
nose.
like,
Oh.
It's like, and it tracks. We can't take much more booping.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that was great.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But what about you, Jenny? What's your favorite part?
I am pretty obsessed with the phrase "Goodgie's good" now. Goodgie's good.
He was a little simple, I think.
It was so great. Oh my god. Best, yeah, but honestly, yeah, Badgie's ascension was, like, yeah,
Yeah,
like,
didn't see that coming.
oh, that was great. Yeah, and right through it, like right from the sort of the moment where he's like, wait a minute, and like you said, where he's like coming up through, coming up out of the black hole, and like, and just that, like those sort of tropes of that, that kind of thing happening. It was perfect. It was perfectly done.
I'm kind of curious about what everybody thought in the universe who got taken over briefly by Badgie. It's like, because like for 15 seconds, he's like, "What just happened?" It's like, and the ships go back to under everybody's control in space stations, like Deep Space Nine and stuff.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And everyone's like, "What just happened?" Oh, carry on. Yeah, you thought this big problem was about to happen, this catastrophic thing, and then it's just like 10 seconds later, nope, I guess I'm just gonna become God and leave everyone alone.
Favorite moment in the mirror.
Favorite moment. I would agree that whole sequence is my favorite moment, especially as Jenny said, like Badgie's giant head coming out of the black hole, the center of the universe.
Oh yeah.
It's not the black hole center of the universe. It's the
it
center of the galaxy.
Center of the galaxy? Okay, whatever.
Well, whatever it was, yeah.
It's
it was great.
Bajillion kilometers wide. Who cares?
Yeah.
Call yourself an astrophysicist.
Yeah, and so his head coming out, and then he ascends, and you see the koala in the distance.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, "I'm going to go create my own universe in another dimension." Yeah.
Oh my god.
And then at the end, where Goodgie gets an update, and he suddenly looks super evil, and everyone's like, I think we're gonna leave. And Rutherford's like, no, it's okay, it's totally fine.
I also agree with you guys already said my favorite moment, which was the ascension part. That was like the peak. Like, okay, I love Star Trek V, and nobody understands why I like Star Trek V, but I like Star Trek V because they go to the center of the galaxy, and they go, and it's like meet God, and there's like, it's metaphysical. It's some deep shit, and that's why I like that movie, and that's why I like this episode, because it's like, and the show, because the show is dealing with like ascending. I feel like they did some heavy shrooms before they did this episode.
So is God in Star Trek V Badgie, because Badgie's now is past, present, and future, and is all across space and time, and he's at the center of the galaxy. So I'm like, is that Badgie that Kirk beats?
I don't know.
Oh, no.
That's a good one. I like it.
That's a good question. It just kind of blew my mind there.
I feel like there's a lot of like referential stuff from other.
Oh, there's so many Easter eggs. Yeah.
My favorite part of the episode, besides that, is that early on when Rutherford gives him Badgie a hug. You don't see it coming, and then he gives him a hug, and that's really like where the episode turns a corner, and suddenly becomes very unpredictable. But it's also emotionally, it's like, it's great because so many TV shows, including Star Trek, there's like a whole conflict and there's a lot of fighting, and this was just like, no, resolution is we hug, and that would probably solve most conflicts, right? You just give a hug, good nice hug, and that's what happens there, and then it just progresses. It kind of reminds me of I don't know. Remember that comic book? You'll know with a Z. Scott, what's his face? Oh,
Scott Pilgrim?
No, not Scott Pilgrim. The guy who did the. Okay, I'll talk about it later because I can't.
Scott McCloud. Zod.
Yeah. Yes. It reminds me of Zod. Yeah. Have you guys seen Zod or read Zod?
No.
But it's the same kind of like something unpredictable at the beginning, and then it just keeps going like more and more and more and more, and then it's like, and it's the universe, like it had that kind of
feel to it. Yeah.
I know, like when Mariner goes like, "Oh, well, why'd you come over here?" It's like, I don't know. I thought I was gonna die. I just came here to die. It's like, what's your plan? I was gonna die.
I was gonna sacrifice myself. Oh my god. Yeah, that's amazing. What was it? Oh yeah, so the grappler. I love the grappler.
Oh yeah, I think that was like was that like an Enterprise reference where they're like trying to use an
like
Enterprise NX-01 style grappler and put it on like their shuttle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and just had no luck with it.
I didn't understand. It just seemed like hugely dangerous to me. I'm like, why would they do that?
Yeah.
Well, because that was their primitive tractor beam in Enterprise. They couldn't use the tractor beam, so they had the grapplers.
Yeah.
Awesome. But I like how their reactions were always so supportive.
I know.
Tendi and Boimler. They're like, good try. Okay, just get me down from this wall. You did great. You did better next time.
You almost killed me, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, we'll get you a new uniform.
Just leave it.
Yeah, that was amazing. And the Tyrus Research Station, which was or wasn't the place from Quality of Life, but it was.
It was.
Like actually, yeah.
Same little space station, and everything.
Yeah, because when she was like, "Dad,"
she
was like,
in the lights.
She's like literally went home. Yeah.
Yeah, and the lights. They had the little.
the laser thing.
The laser.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because we talked about it because they had the one with the 3 of them a few episodes ago. So we talked about it like, I don't know what it was, episode 3 or something. And then I actually, in the review, used a clip from Quality of Life because it was one of the episodes that had that little device in it. And then in this episode, they have it again. That's how we know it's that actual station.
Yeah.
I must say, I was surprised that Peanut Hamper went straight, like that she wasn't part of the scheme. Because I heard that Enigmas, Peanut Hamper, and Badgie were all coming back, and I thought they were going to like all join forces together as an AI super group and do evil. But yeah, she just said, "I'm just going to go home and do stuff and just take it easy." And I'm like, "Oh, good for her." Take yourself away from this toxic shit. And I was like, yeah. So I was actually surprised that that's the route they went with her.
I like
also happy.
The AI group therapy, and then where in the bad computer, he was like, "I've worked so hard to get this blue light going."
Yeah. He's like, I like how he like made a noise like, oh, every time he turned it on.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
And then I was like, is he the computer from Arsenal of Freedom? Because the little probe things that came out of him were from Arsenal of Freedom.
He's not because
he was
Boimler found him on a planet. Yeah.
But why do he has the little probes from Arsenal of Freedom?
Why not?
That was his
they're
gardening
great
upgrade.
weapons.
Didn't you listen to him? He's like, they gave me these for gardening.
Yes.
Oh, but they gave him the drones from Arsenal of Freedom?
Yeah.
Well, they kind of look like it, yeah, but I don't think they were specifically those.
They might have been, though, you know.
It might have been. Oh, did you like, too, that...
Go up, and they're bronze. They're not black.
Yeah, but they were the same thing. I wonder if they brought in Dan Curry just to animate the drones for that.
That's awesome.
I also appreciated the Easter egg that the guards at the AI jail had the same uniforms as the home soil scientists from
Oh,
TNG.
yeah, the classic.
Yeah. I was like, that's a nice touch.
Yeah, no, they know what they're doing.
They know their shit. Yeah.
You want to talk about the season long plot?
Oh yeah, we should talk about that. That's a good idea. Thank you, host.
That's why I'm here.
Take us away.
We're binaries. We're just like.
Well, I guess the only really new thing we learned was that they're being like stolen. That's
V'ger's child. V'ger's child.
Honestly,
you guys said it looked like they were like
becoming more and more possible.
But I feel like they're being digitized. Yeah, they're being stored digitally.
They're being stored, and that's what V'ger was doing, right? V'ger created like a.
But you guys told me last week that was not probably happening because they always like to seem to be dying in pain and being destroyed. And I was like, I don't think that's
it did look like that.
But I think the people, like the organics, might be dying, but the ships are being stolen.
But the ships always have debris, though. They're finding debris.
Well, I guess it's
but they're faking it. Yeah, that's
maybe.
But why?
I still think there's some connection to that Ferengi line last week when he's all upset that they're not making any arm sales anymore. He's like, "Oh, perfect timing when the mystery ship arrives." So I think they have some involvement, but we'll see.
Yeah, but it's not the
plot.
frame. It's definitely, I don't know. I think the V'ger theory is, before I thought it was a huge joke, and I was like, there's no way Lucas is right. But I'm tilting to the Lucas side a little bit on this.
I'm really gonna watch the motion picture again, I guess.
On mute and fast forward.
Yeah.
I don't think you'll regret it. When's the last time you watched it? Like 25 years ago?
More.
Yeah, well, you're
yeah.
You're so much wiser now. And
it's not
that is
bad.
true. I was probably like 12, so I might like it more.
It's not the age to watch 2001 or.
Yeah, and I watched that then too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if the damn movie wasn't long enough to give you that freaking long, boring overture, so I'm like, oh my god, this music is so long, and it's just like stars, black.
You sound like a 12-year-old that somebody made to go see Gandhi at the theater.
It's Star Trek. It's not. I'm not trying to watch 2001.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just want to see it.
Listen, if Star Trek could be like a Marvel movie, then it could definitely be like 2001.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Maybe. I mean, half of that movie is in Wrath of Khan anyway, so you've already seen half of it.
They had to save money.
So I think that's the working theory. I think like V'ger, I think V'ger is a working theory.
I will also rewatch Star Trek the motion picture.
I think you should watch the director's cut. It's also long and boring, but it's better.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm gonna get it watched in
time. Do we want to talk about the very short treks, the last ones that came out? We missed all of them. Like we haven't talked about them.
I still haven't watched it.
What the hell?
I watched the
They're 3 minutes long.
I watched the last one.
We can watch it right now. Why don't you go watch it and come back?
If I never see them again, I won't be sad.
Okay, there was the hologram one, and then and the last one was the you didn't see the hologram one.
I didn't watch the hologram one. Yeah.
And then there was the last one, which is like the musical one.
The musical one.
You saw that?
Yeah,
I did watch it.
Yeah. That one gave me like. That one was very like.
It was fine.
Kind of.
Is that positive? What you're doing right now? I can't tell.
Yeah, like it just was exactly like they set out to make it exactly what it was. So they absolutely nailed what they were doing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I like that it was like really positive and not gross.
Yes, I like that too.
There was that,
That was my favorite one. I liked it because they love the animated series. I know that Lower Decks love the animated series too.
Yeah.
So I think this was like they were actually saying, they were like the new characters were talking to the old characters, going like, "You guys are awesome."
Yeah.
Like literally saying that, and then you had Riker come in and do like a little like trombone like thing, and it was awesome. I just had a great time. I was just like dancing the whole time.
And Sulu was there for some reason.
Yeah, but George Takei's voice is like,
oh my!
It's like when
he sounds like a very old man.
Indiana Jones with old man voice.
But he didn't say anything. All he said was, "Oh my!" That's it.
Oh my!
But it sounded like a really old man saying, "Oh my!"
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That is true.
But isn't it great that George Takei is still playing Sulu, and it's like 2023?
Yeah,
I think that's
insane.
pretty
cool.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they're over.
You're glad they're over?
Yeah.
I
don't know how much they spent on them, but I wish they would spend it on something we like another episode of Lower Decks or another episode of something else, Strange New Worlds. I don't care, but I hope they didn't spend a lot of money on this stuff. It seems like a waste.
Well, there was.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I didn't really like the last episode because it wasn't that funny, right? I like the other ones because they at least had some, they at least made me laugh. But this was just kind of, I saw that. I saw that expression because I'm right here now. I can see these things. So I didn't think it was that funny, and I was expecting a joke, but it just didn't happen.
I mean, Scotty took off his pants.
What's that?
And so did Eric's and who else was there?
I forgot about
they all
them
took out their
pants off.
Yeah, they took their pants off.
Yeah.
Like, they're running around with no pants.
It really do it for me.
It didn't do it for you?
No.
Yeah. But my kids would laugh at that. Like, haha, they don't have pants. Just like, haha, farts and boogers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that bothers me about these things, these very short treks, and this is that they seem to be stealing an idea of this these YouTubers. There's these YouTubers that about a year ago did some stuff on YouTube that was animated like in the style of the Star Trek the animated series, but it was they did it like a
they did that like clip from
yeah. So unless the Star Trek people saw those guys and said, "You guys should come and do this over here,"
yeah, I'm not sure about that actually.
Then it's like they just kind of stole that idea because that was brilliant what they had done in the YouTube. So it'd be interesting to find out if there's a related. Because it just reminds me of Jay-Z, those Danger Mouse that had remixed Jay-Z with the Beatles. And,
the Grey Album.
Yeah, the Grey Album, and everybody loved it.
Yeah.
But Jay-Z wouldn't endorse it or whatever they were going to do. And then instead of going, let's collaborate with Danger Mouse, he went over with Limp Bizkit or whatever they're called, this other group, and they did the same thing. Linkin Park, I don't know.
Linkin Park.
What?
It's got to be Linkin Park. Not Limp Bizkit.
I don't know, but you know what I'm talking about?
No,
but that's what I mean. Is that Jay-Z instead of actually officially
terrible era of music?
Instead of officially collaborating with Danger Mouse, he just went with this lame group and did a lame remix album over there. And this reminded me of this. It's like, there were some cool people on YouTube that were doing they were actually doing these things, and instead of like just getting them to come and do something cool, they were like, let's just steal their idea and then bring these people over here with their booger jokes. And
here's the thing about Paramount. That's like literally what they do with everything. Like, have you seen the merch they've put out in the last couple of years? The Starship is Landing.
No, what is that?
Starship is literally, that's it. It's t-shirts with the Starship is Landing written on it. Like, it makes like and meanwhile they're out here, smacking down all of these independent artists who they could be paying to make actual stuff people want to buy or watch.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, they're the big faceless corporation.
It's like now they're doing some sort of musical collaboration with Kid Cudi or Cudi or whatever they call them. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about that, and I don't care.
Music and fashion and Fortnite.
Oh, right.
Fortnite.
Something with Kid Cudi.
I don't even know what Fortnite is.
What's Kid Cudi?
Isn't that
a
kid stuff?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know why.
But you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of like if you read Star Trek movie memories or like even the Rick Berman interview where you always have these stories of these executives giving these crazy ideas and them going, no, we're not doing that. Like there was an executive in Paramount that wanted a boy band to be on Enterprise so that every time they went into the mess hall, the boy band would be there. And then they could like fill the song. And then Rick Berman just went, no. But this is like the same thing, except whoever goes, okay, sounds good. Let's do that.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, right now, I'm not this idea because it's not on the shows, right? It's like it's external. It's some other thing that's happening. It's letting them promote Star Trek in a way like at New York Comic Con without any actors. Blah 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 blah.
I just want to watch the show. I don't care about
it. And honestly, if it ends up being like a entryway for somebody to Star Trek, then awesome. I figure. Yeah, but
it's hard to be angry right now with all the Star Trek. There's all this new Star Trek, and it's kind of what we always wanted, like more Star Trek. But then it's also like kind of uneven and all over the place. So it's not like
It's funny. It's
hard to be happy at the same time.
I saw an article talking about talking about the Quentin Tarantino Star Trek thing that was supposed to happen. And it's funny because right, so that came out I think initially like 2017 people started talking about that, and I remember the feeling of being like, I don't know if this is a good idea because like if like Star Trek can't be that. But now, because there's all these different sort of things in new Star Trek, now I'm like, oh, you know what? I mean, a Tarantino version, sure, why not? Like, because it's just sort of like different flavors now because we have so much of it. It doesn't feel like I don't feel quite as protective, you know?
Yeah, because it's all different, right? Like as soon as J.J. Abrams came out with his version of Star Trek, then that opened the floodgates, right? It was like, okay, well, we can have different interpretations of Star Trek, and whether or not that's okay is.
But a lot of the interpretations are J.J. Abrams' version of it, because even the other interpretations, like Picard and Strange New Worlds, are still like borrowing from that. Like,
well, I don't think he set that style. I think that's just the style of TV shows now. Right, like I think they just look like a lot of TV shows. It's not J.J. Abrams.
Oh, I see.
Everything's flashy
No,
now.
you watch TV shows, I know.
I do. I watch TV. Yeah, that's true.
Star Trek used to feel like theater. Like when you watch TOS and TNG, it felt like you're on a stage and there's thespians are, doing their thing. And now it just feels like a lot of Marvel flash CGI. It's got to be colorful. It's got to be fast paced. It's got to be a assault on the senses.
Yeah.
To keep
it feels like
your eyes on it.
Yeah. Like I can listen to TNG when I work, like while I'm painting. I can just listen to it like it's like a radio show. And it's, I mean, first of all, I've seen it all so many times, but because it's so much of it is like being said, I don't feel the same way about the new shows. Like it doesn't feel the same. Yeah.
Well, we were just watching Deep Space Nine yesterday, and we were just commenting on that about how everything was so like intricate, and there was like people just talking and talking and talking and talking, and we're like, oh, we kind of like it. There's lots of talking in this episode.
Oh yeah.
Even this episode like Starship Down, which is like quite an action-oriented episode, but even that was like 80% talking, and then like Jim and Hart ship comes out, shoots at them, and goes back.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I like that because it makes the world feel real. Like you hear these characters, they're interacting with each other, they have their own sort of idiosyncrasies. They're talking about how they feel, and they're doing things, but they're doing it in a way that has subtext, right? Like they're not, like they would in theater. I think, like Alan was saying, but like the newer shows aren't really like that.
Lower Decks would not be a good radio show. You're like, what the hell's going on? I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a lot of screaming and
exactly. But I think Lower Decks is closer to it than Picard or Strange New Worlds or
like I don't think you could make 90s Trek now and get people to watch it.
Yeah,
no, I'm surprised we got like episodes like I haven't memorized the titles of the newer ones yet, but like the courtroom episode in Strange New Worlds. Like I'm surprised we got that sort of episode in this day and age.
Yeah,
like, that's a lot of sitting and talking for for this era.
Yeah,
it's called Astra per Aspera, isn't it?
Ad Astra, yeah.
Thing, but yeah,
yeah.
Eventually, it'll be part of my encyclopedic knowledge. It'll be absorbed eventually.
I know.
But you know what? I just realized that the Orville is probably the closest thing to TNG.
Oh yeah.
Right? Because they actually do that. Like there's definitely action, but there is a lot of character interaction and dialogue between characters, and they're talking about ideas and how they feel. And you really feel close to those characters because they're doing that, right? Like they're opening up to each other, and because they're opening up to each other, they're opening up to the audience, and you're connecting with them. Like I never feel a connection with a lot of the Strange New Worlds characters or Picard,
But they're still like, I see that with the Orville too. But I think they're still pretty quippy. Like they have a lot of like fast talk and the characters feel more related to people you would meet in the streets nowadays, versus Picard sitting in the Measure of a Man or whatever and doing a courtroom drama.
So funny.
They're all like basically reciting essays, quoting Shakespeare. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to do the ratings?
That was a long tangent.
That's a good one.
You're the host. What are you talking about?
Is this all going to make it into review?
Okay, let's do our ratings. Because Namir wants me to. Let's do our ratings. Let's start with Jenny. What do you give this episode out of 10?
I am giving this episode a 10. My long-awaited second 10 of the season, and now I'm thinking back to the first 10. What was my first 10? I can't remember.
I don't know. Did she have a first
But
10?
the fact that I said that I don't remember, I definitely did. I feel like it was...
Oh, last week was a 10.
No. Last week was my lowest rating.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
I think I gave that one high mark because I love
Yeah.
it so much.
Anyway.
I was like a 9.
Anyway, I think this one.
We'll go back. We'll go back in the library.
This
We'll
one
go
will-
back in the
yeah.
library records.
This definitely sticks in my brain as a like. I really liked this episode. It was super fun and Star Trek-y and awesome and yeah. 10.
I feel like Jenny gave the Moopsy episode a 10.
Yes, I did.
Episode.
Yes, I did. Okay, that's appropriate. All right. Yeah. Okay.
People love that creature now. Like,
Love
everywhere. Like,
Moopsy.
people are just like making Moopsies have it on Etsy and stuff. It's
And you know
crazy.
who's not? Paramount.
No, it's like, why are you making Moopsies? Everyone wants a Moopsie.
Why are they selling Moopsies? Go on.
I would give this episode again high marks like last week. I really enjoyed it. It moved the plot along. It's always great to see Jeffrey Combs. He's like automatically he gets one of the points is just to have Jeffrey Combs in it. So I would give this one another 9 out of 10. I was like I had a really good time. I laughed a lot.
Did you call it
you know,
99 out of 10? What did you say?
99 out of 10. Why would I say 99 out of 10? That makes no sense. I said 9 out of 10.
I don't know. You could just really like it too. It's like a 99.
It's an 11. It turned out 10 plus one more.
I get that reference.
Yeah.
I get that reference.
No, everybody gets that reference.
Yeah. It's from the movie,
Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap.
Very good, you passed.
I feel like this is another high marks from me for this week.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing but love.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna agree. I give it a 9. It's almost a 10. It's almost a 10. But I think that I'm still reserving my 10 for maybe a later episode that could be better.
What are you talking about? You're always like the later episode.
There could be a later episode. I think if I give a 10, it's got to be like the best episode of the show, and we're not.
This one too was like the closest I come to like being emotionally moved too, because when he hugs Badgie and he's like,
oh, I know,
I just like well up,
good.
and I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, it's a very nice
it's
moment.
so great.
I'm like, yeah.
It's so great. You get the hug in there, and then he brutally murders logically, which is awful. He's like, "Ugh," and he's like split in half. You're like, no.
Cracks his spine.
So, I really was emotionally invested in Badgie's character arc, and it ended in like the perfect way.
I'm
I'm
still thinking he'll come back. I still think he'll come back as some form from Gucci. Badgie will take over.
Yeah, like Gucci.
That glitch.
Into Badgie.
No, Gucci's good.
I don't know.
For now.
Until that latest update from Microsoft.
Yeah.
And then he turns into Badgie.
I give this episode a 10 out of 10 because I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was fantastic because for the first time, it was doing all the things I want these episodes to do, which is be funny, be whimsical, make references, but take the plot seriously and make the plot count. And then on top of that, there was really heartfelt inside the plot, the story. There was real heartfelt moments like the hug, and then anything that has to do with like ascending to a higher plane of existence and everything that happened. It was so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I don't think it's gonna get better than this, guys. I'm sorry to hear that.
It's all downhill from here.
I'm interested to see where it ends up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, you know what could make this an 11 is if in the last episode Vija shows up and there's a big cloud that shows up.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like stop destroying ships, Junior. We talked about this. It's kind of
I don't
like the Squire
wanna.
Gotham. Yeah.
I don't wanna. It's not fair.
I feel like V'ger showing up is gonna be like the Nerdiest Prime like triumph.
That's yeah.
You know,
no one else is making that prediction on.
Who,
on the
yeah,
internet?
I haven't seen it anywhere.
Well, apparently, according to one of our YouTube commenters, that they appreciate that we're even reviewing this show at all because I guess not enough people are out there reviewing Lower Decks episodes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Who knew? I don't know.
Well, shout out to Laura Robles.
nice.
That's the name.
Hey,
of the
Laura.
person
Okay.
Yeah.
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 Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm getting hungry.
Namir wants to go now. Okay.
Okay.
No, I don't want to go. That's fine. I could do this all night.
I can do this all night. Okay.
Are you sure Lucas is not hungry? He's always hungry.
Dude, you have no idea. You know how many eggs he had today?
A dozen.
5. 5 eggs.
Lucas was always the saddest snacks every time we hung out. It was like, hey, did you want some bread? He'd have like a bag of bread with nothing on it. It's like, here, want some bread?
Just where in the future, the things we've done and said, let's just push the button, we'd be better off.